My nonprofit treatment center that's been in place for 20 years now is looking at closing its doors. Now, there's a lot of reasons about why that might be happening, but I want to start off by saying I do not regret for 1 second providing exceptional treatment at an incredibly low cost. There's a lot of people in Denton and all of North Texas who are alive today because we decided 20 years ago to open Solutions of North Texas. It's also important to understand that if we do close our doors, that the community of Denton will no longer have a nonprofit treatment center. Ever since COVID, we have been struggling. We have worked to keep our staff in place, to make sure that they get paid, and to provide the services that we do at a cost that just almost nobody can compare with. This will affect our courts. This will affect probation and child welfare and the community as a whole. Because I promise you don't have to look very far to find somebody who is alive today because we are here. So this has impacted you, whether you believe it has or not. The men and women who will not receive our services may not make this. And that is going to affect your family. Now, what has happened is grants have pretty much dried up. They've gone from pretty large to pretty small. And giving has just about disappeared. The economy freaks a lot of people out. There's a lot of uncertainty, so there's a lot of reasons for that. And we saw this coming, and we've been diligently trying to secure additional funding. One of the things that we have done is reach out to our commissioners, because we have received the opioid abatement funds to the tune of almost $500,000 so far, of approximately $1.2 million that we will be getting. Now, this is the money that came from the lawsuits from all the distributors and the producers who brought us the opioid epidemic. And this money was divided up in several different ways. Part of it from the state of Texas, who's going to receive $1.1 billion, divided it up and sent it to different communities. So every county received some opioid funds. And the idea was that the commissioners who have their finger on the pulse of their community could immediately put it out in the community so that it can make the biggest difference. They are restricted funds. There's only so many things you can do with it. Our city received some funding, not nearly as much as the county, but with their funding, they decided to buy Narcan for all of the first responders, which is an excellent choice and it's absolutely allowable. But our county commissioners have decided not to give the money to anybody. And several people have asked for it, several worthy causes, including, well, we'll just say there's several worthy causes. Now, there's enough money there to save us. And we told our commissioners that we were not going to make it without some help. Judge Eads, our county judge, his direct quote was, if I was ever going to invest in recovery, it would be on the prevention side, to stop it before it ever happened so that we don't have to deal with the trash at the bottom of the hill. Or rather than dealing with the trash at the bottom of the hill. So I'm guessing he's saying that anybody who has addiction in their family is trash at the bottom of the hill. Now, until that changes, that's never going to change in the county. We can't do this anymore. Our hope is that everybody will email Judge Eads, that is Andy.Eads, E-A-D-S, at dentoncounty.gov. Email him and share your thoughts. Maybe you agree with him. Maybe you don't. But share your thoughts with him. Because in a very short time, we're not going to be here if something drastic doesn't happen. Now, the best outcome would be that another treatment center or a group of people with means step in to carry on the fight. because the fight's worth it. There are so many lives that have been saved by this. It's worth the fight. If we don't raise an extraordinary amount of money in the next couple of weeks, then what's going to end up happening is our property will be sold and most likely just become student housing. You might agree with that. If, on the other hand, you see that almost every social issue we have is shot through and through with addiction, and as you understand it, the legal community has embraced us since the beginning, and that we work very closely with the drug courts, with law enforcement, with the whole structure, that they're going to take a serious hit if we're not there. If you feel that you want this in your community, please help us. You can help us with, obviously, funding, and maybe if enough people reach out to our county judge, he will change his mind and release the funding. My greatest hope would be that I get to post another video to say that our judge has seen a light and released all of the funding so that we could remain in the community.